about because I don't feel I have enough information
So
about it.
we're just going to roll right now, and then we can start a conversation whenever.
Danny, do you want to pull your microphone down?
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
ask
go
about
ahead.
that. Do I just point
Yeah,
it?
just
It's very
I've never done this
agile.
before.
Can move it in. I know. It's exciting.
Hello.
and just try to stay like
Testing.
a couple inches away from the microphone. I'll try to mix it, but
Let us know if it's too close or.
the louder is probably better. I'll watch it. We should, yeah. So go ahead. What's that?
Did you read
Yeah. Would we all want to go around and introduce ourselves? Maybe starting with Nick.
this? Are we on?
I'm recording. I mean,
And this is Nick from BikeTalk.
and then go on like counterclockwise around there.
Okay.
Counter.
My name's Sharon. I'm from the Valley Bikery. Hello.
Hi, my name's Jennifer, and I'm from the Valley Bikery.
Hi, my name's Danny, and I'm from Bike Oven in Northeast LA.
Hi, my name is Ariel, and I'm from BC Libre, a little bit west of downtown in the Pico Union neighborhood.
Hi, my name's Siobhan, and I'm from Bicycle Kitchen in East Hollywood.
And my name's Lucas, and I'm from Biker Wave in Mar Vista.
And we're here for the Bike Collectives show. And we have a great show for you. We have people from all over the city. Pretty much all the bike collectives except maybe Bikes On Us. Maybe some people are missing, but a lot of us are here.
It's like a bike collective roundtable for real.
Yes. We're here to talk about everything that you'd like to know about our different bike collectives. And would we like to go through one at a time or just take a topic and go through?
I think there is a topic, sort of. If do you want to introduce it, Joanne?
Sure. We thought today's show we could discuss the programs that the various co-ops are running or would like to run. There's lots of aspects that we can kind of take a look at. Programs that have come before us, that are going on currently, and some, there's a lot to learn from ones that haven't worked out. Things that we can share and aspects that we can share with you, the audience, if you have input, to go to your local co-op and to be able to volunteer and share your time to be able to make things better and to implement programs that you think would be really great too. So I don't know. I thought if anybody kind of wants to start first, maybe jump in with something that they've either recently implemented at their co-op, something that's been going really well, or something that's been getting some accolades, or
something you're excited about.
Yeah.
Well, we'll share about at the Valley Bikery. We have Yo Cycle, which is a combination of biking and we bike to a local park and we do yoga, and it's led by Sharon. And she does a wonderful job. It's so much fun. It's kind of becoming a little community. We have regulars that come out. Oh,
Nice.
Nick goes too. I'm sorry, Nick.
See, there we go.
Every Sunday.
Another regular yo cyclist.
Would you like to talk about it then?
Yes, so I first want to mention, as we went around the round table of bike co-ops, I forgot to mention we're located in Van Nuys. So we are representing different parts of the area. And we're at the corner of Victory and Van Nuys Boulevard. And like Jennifer just mentioned, Yo Cycle takes place every Sunday. And it's a ride that leaves at 9:30 a.m. from the Valley Bikery. And it's a leisurely ride for 4 miles to Lake Balboa, where we do an hour yoga session and vary it up from different styles of yoga, from power yoga to more relaxing yoga, kind of change it up to give people exposure, as well as different levels of yoga, and no experience is required, so it's open to everyone in the community. It's a free event.
And there's a song.
And yes, Jennifer has made a song, and there might be we're hoping to get a commercial out soon too, and we'll promote that out on our website as well as on the Valley
YouTube.
Bikery Facebook page and YouTube. don't know if you want to give a little rendition
Yeah,
of
how
it.
does
or-
it go exactly?
I think it was.
It's a duo. So and if anyone knows the words are very very simple. We encourage
You
people to
can-
join in.
Yeah, you could
So-
catch on.
Do you sing it on the ride at all?
We do sing it on the
Excellent.
ride. We sing it on the ride.
Yeah,
Yes.
usually on the way back to the Valley Bike Ride
Yeah.
after we're done with.
Sometimes
the whole
just
session.
randomly around my house when I'm really happy. So.
Yeah.
So.
Without further ado,
Yeah.
1,
2, 3. Yo cycle, biking and yoga together. Yo cycle, yoga and biking forever. That's basically it.
More to come.
Very good, very good.
But to transition how it's been successful for us as a function as a bike collective, it's also been a way outside of our maintenance and hours of operations of maintenance nights to get more people exposed. And so participants who've been coming to this outdoor activity have also familiarized themselves with our bike collective. And I've seen maybe people are more casual bikers, not transporting on a daily basis on their bikes, have become more involved and interested from the event. So it's still a small community and it's building and progressive, but it's a nice way to give an alternative and an outside activity from the bike collective to get exposed. And so I just want to mention we are opened Monday night from 5 to 8 and Tuesday 7 to 10 and Sunday by appointment. So
You know, that would actually be really good to go over real quick when everybody is open. That's probably our number one question. I don't know. Do you want to go, Ariel?
Sure. BC Libre is open Monday through Friday now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 to 8, and Tuesday and Thursday, 12 to 5, and sometimes on weekends when someone happens to open. If you
Yeah.
come by and it's open, stop in.
Yeah, Bike Kitchen is our only weekday is Monday from 12 to 5. Monday night, 6:30 to 9:30 is Bicycle Bitchin', which is a women trans night only. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:30 to 9:30, and then we're open on the weekend afternoons.
Bike Wave is open Monday through Thursday, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Bike Oven is open. Wow, we're open, I think, 6 days out of the week. So we're open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we're open from 7 to 10 at night. Fridays, we're usually open for an afternoon shift, which is like, I believe it's 1 to 4. And that's also for Saturday and Sunday. And Wednesday is kind of like our volunteer cleanup day, where we go in and try to do projects.
Awesome.
So has YoCycle, do you think it's introduced new clientele, maybe not typical clientele? Do you see regular faces?
I definitely think it's introduced a lot of new clientele, people who were unfamiliar, people who wouldn't stop by beforehand at the Valley Bikery. And that's what's been so great about people who have found us on Facebook or even just passerbyers at Balboa Park who see a yoga and then start asking, what is this? And we're not a cult, we're practicing yoga, and there's a sign, Valley Bikery, and then what's a Valley Bikery? What's a bike collective? And all the questions start, and then it's great, and then they become interested, and so we do see new clientele, and I definitely see from that new clientele some consistency with the people who come to YoCycle, and then they become interested in other events when we put announcements of other bike events in the area. So
Yeah.
I think it's been successful in that perspective.
How long have you been doing it now?
It's been going on, I think, about 9 months.
Oh, wow.
I wanna say. We first started doing it Wednesday nights, and that's when I met Jennifer and Nick, who are here on the show tonight, and they were my only attendees. And so as much as I love them, and it was great support having them come consistently. I figured it'd be nice to branch out to another day and see if more people would come. And so then maybe a few months ago, we transitioned it to Sunday mornings, and more people
Yeah.
have been coming because it's been more accessible on the weekends and in the morning versus night.
And have you guys found that you have introduced people to cycling or yoga or both?
It's a good question. I'm going to digest it for a second.
No pressure.
No, I'm just. I think both. As far as cycling, I think there's been an introduction. People who haven't been regular cyclers to have more of an incentive to maybe ride to Yo Cycle or come, like I mentioned before, come to another bike event, which will lead to, okay, now I care to learn, since I'm riding more, I care to learn how to fix my bike. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need this part. And then they're utilizing our hours of operation for learning how to empower themselves and, fix their own bike. And so that's doing, and like the passerbyers at the park, I think they've been exposed to yoga, and
sometimes people just join in, right?
Yeah,
Hasn't that happened?
Yeah, that's happened several times, and it's been fun to see little kids too join in, and even though maybe they're mocking us at times, and then they start giggling, and when I come, I'm like, "Can I adjust you?" and they start running away. Then, but it's fun to see that they get excited to see us doing a movement there and establishing a community together. So
Yeah, I think that's really the important part. And you're kind of caring about your community as a whole, not just about serving one specific need, which is mechanics. You're actually caring about the person, caring about the whole client.
yeah, which resonates with the whole cycling community. Doing a healthy activity, being able to transport in a more effective way to work or to whatever activities we have. And
Now I think that the Bike Kitchen needs a yoga teacher.
I know. We have a girl who she's only volunteered and done more graphic design stuff for us, but she does acro yoga. So it's like acrobatic type of stuff. And I'm going to hit her up and be like, hey.
Yeah, no, definitely giving some alternatives to events you could do with them.
Yeah, definitely.
And ways for people to participate. That would be great.
Yeah, and I think we've had not trouble finding what to give her to do, but if people come in and they don't know about mechanics or whatever, sometimes we have trouble giving them stuff to do or helping them feel like they're being helpful. And so I think looking at the pool of volunteers and really pulling from everybody's skills, whether it's traditional or more out of the box like that, is a really good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of one of the hard things too, is if you create programs based on your current your volunteer pool, what if you lose that volunteer? Things happen in people's lives. Schedules change, and maybe they're not able to sustain that program anymore. It's really sad to sometimes see a program shutter. Like for us, we were doing what's called Earn a Bike, where we were.
Say when people speak. I'm sorry. You say maybe this is Shoban from Bike Kitchen. Just so people know.
So the Bicycle Kitchen was doing something called Earn a Bike, and it really got started because there was some people that were available, some volunteers that were available immediately following school hours. But that's not always the case now. We've got some full-time employees, and now there's not a lot of people between that 3 and 6:30 kind of time. We were working with local high school, grade school kids who wanted to come in and find a really healthy alternative to their time after school and learn how to fix up one of the donated bikes that we have. And then they would be able to walk away with it, free of charge at the end of their time. But, when we don't have the volunteers to do it, we're not able to continue the program. So it's really hard, to really tap into the current skill set that you have and to hope, really, that you can keep some of your programs always going.
Yeah, and I think some programs, this is Ariel from BC Libre, they have a shorter shelf life. Maybe they'll hop in for a short time, and then they'll come back later, and they'll go away. I think in some ways, it can be hard because you want it to keep going and going, but then it's also just nice to have it happen and see the success that it was, and then turn to what else can we do? Is there other things that we can do?
At Bikerwave, this is Lucas from Bikerwave. At Bikerwave, we had an after-school program that was really successful. One of the reasons that it was, I feel, though, was that the people that put it on were teachers, and they were already sort of involved in that world, and they committed to a specific time period for it to happen. And it was also sort of selected from local schools, and there were only, I believe it was 8 students total in that, and so each round, when they can do it, they will do a small sort of batch, and that was really successful and got a lot of really good feedback and helped out some of the kids in the community. So that, I feel that was a big success. But again, they couldn't have sustained that for more than maybe I think it was 12 weeks, every like twice a week after school. So yeah, there's definitely that problem of who can keep doing it when you're a volunteer organization.
Yeah.
Do you find you're having volunteers that do programs who also have a normal shift, or it's outside their normal shift? Are they adding it on, or are they?
Well, at Bikerwave, it's a mix. Some people are super involved in a lot of aspects, and one of the volunteers on that was her only time that she was in. So whoever can is always good. Anybody else?
Yeah, Bike Kitchen, it's usually someone who really does have a regular shift and then takes something else on.
Yeah. This is Sharon from the Valley Bikery, and I agree with what you guys are saying. It could be an issue with consistency, especially, and time as a volunteer, to commit to hours, set hours on a weekly basis, as well as participate if you're putting on an event, to clean up, set up, organize, put all that energy in, and it is hard, and it's easy for a lot of people to say, oh, this needs to be done, that, or, maybe people who are coming by to the Bike Collective and stating what they would like to see, but that's why Ayla from the Bikery always suggests that it's a good idea when people suggest something, say, oh, would you like to do it?
Right.
And, as well, to see, and that way they become active participants. And it's also nice to give leadership roles to other people and distribute, even though, there's more security when you do it sometimes yourself. But it's like finding that balance, right? And not overwhelming yourself and burning out, and being able to complete the hours needed for the whatever function your Bike Collect is doing. In my case, for the Yo Cycle, I have a separate life apart from the Bike Collect on Sundays, and so sometimes on weekends, my fear of transitioning on the weekends was some weekends, I want to go away, but so sometimes it's nice that just these last 2 weekends I had to go away, and I found someone who was able to substitute, someone from the Valley Bikery, Ayla, who was able to take my place. And sometimes finding, people who can share the weight on that set of activity. And I personally couldn't volunteer with the maintenance hours, and I didn't have that much knowledge, so I didn't feel comfortable. So this alternative emerged from wanting to be able to volunteer and help in a bike collective, but it was something of more of interest to me. So that could be for people outside of maybe that do shifts at your guys' bike collectives.
I wanted to just talk a tiny bit. Yeah, we've had, or about our programs that we've done, or one type of program, I think, is Bike Oven or Bike Kitchen. Somebody's doing this right now, too, of just having really specific bike maintenance workshops that are about one specific thing.
Bicycle Kitchen.
Bike Kitchen is doing that? Yeah, for
Bicycle
the summer.
Bitchin' is,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
We did some classes as well.
Oh,
We
you
tried
did
to do
too.
like a roster of classes.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a couple this summer, maybe 3 or 4, hopefully. But something that we've done is actually people have approached us, like former volunteers that can't do a shift every week anymore, or maybe they used to volunteer, but they want to come back and just teach one class. It's kind of nice because then they're still getting a little bit involved, but they're not, they don't have as much time to commit, but they can still help out. And so we have one former volunteer that came in and taught a class, like a 3-hour class about cogs. And then we've had someone who was a professional mechanic that did racing bikes, I think, from Costa Mesa come once and talked about headsets. And I think we need to do more of those. We haven't planned them yet, but we've talked about planning them and doing them. But yeah, I look forward to that with us this summer. And then do you guys have some coming up?
Well, Bicycle Bitchin', which is a women transgender night at the kitchen, we still see it being a low number night. We feel like of all the shifts, we still have the least amount of clients, and we really want to, in any way possible, really still continue to encourage female-oriented peoples to come out and ask whatever questions there are. There is no silly question, and you don't, even if it's like, how do I use my gears? Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And so we were trying to see if these workshops that we're doing every other Monday through June, July, and August, we were hoping to break them down to the point where maybe we could just address some really simple questions and it wasn't too overwhelming, and it was still an enjoyable space. It was, you can still come in during those nights and work on your bike. So it's a good way for us to introduce them to the space as it is, when as an education space, and also as specific, get your questions answered about that particular topic. So we were kind of hoping, we'll see how it goes. But we kind of did take our cue, actually, Danny, from, bike ovens. You almost do them, is it every summer? I remember them a couple at least now.
I know we've done them before. They've done like art classes. They've done all sorts of stuff. But we're trying to do one like every quarter. We haven't discussed anything for summer yet. We do have a meeting tomorrow, so I may bring that up. But yeah, I mean, we've had pretty good success with them. The more advanced classes, we haven't had as many attendees, and I don't know if that's just a lack of like us promoting it, or if it's just people are more interested in learning the basics. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I mean, they've been pretty good. I think our bicycle basics class had like 12 people in it or something, which is pretty good, like on a Saturday morning. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I know that they've had classes before. I've only been with Bike Oven since maybe for a bit over a year, and so the people before me I know did classes too.
Yeah, the topics are difficult. We found too that when we got a little more advanced, that there wasn't the audience there, and I think we wanted the same thing. Is it timing? Just a bad weekend, or is the interest just not really there? We obviously have regular requests for derailleurs, fix-a-flats, brakes. Those are, the typical 3. But we also wanted to reach out specifically to what we thought would be issues for the female-identified community, which is, comfort commuting and finding routes. Even things like safety on the road and confidence on the road, knowing the rules of the road, things like that. Some fun ones we were trying, which is like wrapping bar tape and things that can kind of make you feel accomplished and bring you closer to your bike. But it doesn't have to be too serious. We kind of wanted to sprinkle in a mix of both. So we're looking forward to it. We're really hoping just to continue. Look at all of us actually now. The composition of us is, more female than males. I think Bitchin' for Bicycle Kitchen has actually brought in more female-identified volunteers now than there are male, which is really a record for us. And it's, I think, really great. I think it speaks volumes, and I hope it's reflecting the changes that are going on also in LA. So that's what we were kind of hoping to do with Bitchin'-specific workshops.
Yeah, we did some. Well, last year we had for the entire year, WTF night, Women Trans Femme night, and it worked out well. I helped open on those nights because I'm the only female that works at BC Libre. But then I couldn't open 2 nights this year, so because I was doing another shift as well, and that was kind of like an extra shift because it wasn't every week. But we had 2 really successful workshops where it was just, I think one time it was 3 weeks, 3 hours each night, and then one time it was 4 weeks, 3 hours each night or something like that. And we brought in an outside mechanic to help teach them, and those went really well, and we were really thankful for having those nights. And it was kind of an ABC check focus. Like one night would be fix a flat, one night would be brakes, one night would be derailleurs, and then a little bit of safety and parts of a bike and stuff like that too. But I think the same mechanic or a different mechanic, Rio, might be teaching those classes now at the Ovarian Psychos space this summer. So that's great that they're having that, because it's something they've kind of been like working up to, and a lot of those people from that bike collective came to the original ones at BC Libre, and now they're doing their own. So I'm happy about that.
So is that going to be another bike collective, the Ovarian Psycho Space?
I think they have some tools. I don't know if they're going to make it a full-on repair space all the time. I think they're going to have a small tool outfit in order to repair when they can. And they might have a stand, I'm not sure, for a bike, but I was there a few days ago and it wasn't necessarily set up for that. But I think in the future, if that was something they would move toward, it could be cool, but I don't know if it's anything they're looking to do right now. I'm not sure.
I have a question for everybody. Is when you when you have these sort of programs and events or one-offs, what do you do to get the word out, and what have you guys felt have sort of the best response rate to that? Because I know that that's a really big thing at Bike Wave that's tough. We have a Fix a Flat at the farmers market almost every week, and we've put it out on our blog and all our social media, and it's always a really small turnout. I don't know if people don't want to come to the farmers market, but I wonder about, like, what are the successes or failures for that for you guys?
I think for the Valley Bikery and with Yo Cycle, one of the things that has been really successful is that, yes, we do all those social media and all that, but Sharon actually emails people or she texts people because she's been able to gather like their contact information. And I know from my background of community organizing that always really tends to get people to think, okay, not just a number on a social media site, but actually people are taking time to like call me or text me or email me. And it's also an additional touch, an additional time that you're actually touching them, reminding them like, hey, Yo Cycle or whatever the event is. And then I don't know, Sharon, if you have anything else to say, but I think that's been really, really helpful.
Is that, who do you email? Like, who is it that you...
So I'm glad to hear it's been effective. It is on a small scale, so that's why I feel it is feasible versus maybe for the other nights of maintenance or fixing your bike when we're open on other evenings. And the way I got the emails was whoever would show up, I would ask them if it's okay if they want to be contacted, if they want me to text them or email. And I kind of put a small registry together for talking about maybe 10 to 12 people. Mm-hmm. So it's feasible. Like the email's definitely in text as far as just I have everything saved now. So something I could do as a reminder beforehand. And then I think something that is kind of hard as far as getting more people to come in, and I'm curious to see for all the other co-ops on average how many people come into when you guys are opened, is for the Valley Bikery is our visibility is sometimes very hard. Like we have a sign outside, but we're tucked away in a small suite in a building, and so I think that's what we're struggling with, people actually knowing where we're located and we're there, and that's why the events, that's why we try to have whatever events or Yo Cycle start at the Valley Bike and be like, okay, this is where we are.
Yeah.
Now let's go to whatever.
That's been
ride
really
we're doing,
big
so.
at Bikerwave too, since we moved from the industrial alley of Santa Monica to Venice Boulevard. It just increased it just because it's right out in the open, and I know how hard that can be when you're sort of tucked somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna go back what you guys were saying. I think we've been talking also. I think workshops are great, especially I definitely want to partake in a workshop to get, feel like you have that foundation of the basics and then move on from there and feel comfortable in a set space. Because sometimes when you go into shifts, people are already working on the bike and they already know, and it's like, I need the fundamentals. But I was wondering if you guys do have a sign-in sheet or to see if people are interested, and then go from there, and email or let them know when the dates are.
Yeah. I'm now that I'm kind of listening to you, do that for Yo Cycle. Maybe we might be missing out on that for Bicycle Bitchin', and I don't know where we lie. We might have enough clients where it's almost too many to email out at one time, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just nervous about making that direct contact. Really, we started I think for a while we didn't want to differentiate ourselves from the Bicycle Kitchen too much, but now we're really realizing, the Bitchin' volunteers and the clients are asking for it as well. That we, become a stronger presence, that we respond to the growing, female cycling community. So we started a Facebook page, which for us and has been really successful, but then you also don't know, right? Yeah. It's sort of that nether world. But, that when we made a beautiful, one of our volunteers, Miyuki, made a beautiful flyer for the Bitchin' Summer Series, is what we're calling it, of workshops. That was our highest viewed post. But how do you know what that really translates into? Eyeballs doesn't always mean that people are going to come. We have to do constant reminders, and we're trying to reach out, of course, to, other communities and other, I know Bike Oven, the workshops have been posted on Midnight Riders, and, I'm thinking maybe we should be doing that too. We're also looking at LGBT, Q communities, and maybe, so I think there's so much more potential that we're not really realizing. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that really would be a good... We've never... we've told people, go to the Facebook page. We also have a general Bike Kitchen Twitter, where we, of course, maintain all of the updates for Bitchin'. So I think maybe we've come at it from a passive point of view. We ask you to seek us out because maybe we don't want to be, too invasive. But maybe I'm shortchanging... the clients, maybe they really want more interaction, more discussion, more opportunities to kind of be connected. So that's actually something to think about.
This is Danny from Bike Oven. Do you guys do anything other than just at the shop? Do you do any group rides somewhere to go do brunch, as far as just that particular group? Mm-hmm. Because that could be a potential to kind of make it more of a community and more of hey guys, I want your personal information, not necessarily just so that you can come to my class, but just in case we decide to have a potluck on Sunday or whatever, because I think that really, it does make a difference. And I think one of the things about the Bike Oven that people really like is that we get a lot of people that come back over and over and over. And it's because it's almost like they just become friends, and they're really into that culture. And so I think that's really important. I think there's got to be definitely a balance between business and not business, but I think that's what keeps people coming back to the Bike Oven, is that they know familiar faces, and it's I'm having a crappy day, so I'm gonna go hang out with some friends or whatever at the Bike Oven and wrench, so it's kind of nice that way.
Yeah. Well, I on the side, I run something called the Women Trans Femme Bike Brunch LA, and I started launching the rides to brunch from the kitchen so that more people would be familiar with the space, know where it was, know that there is Bicycle Bitchin' on Monday nights. Some people still, haven't heard of it yet. And I thought that was really, there was an uptick in clientele from that and a good connection and a larger community connection. We started doing this year community rides. But then we really found out that the main people who were coming were all of us, were all the volunteers. We just wanted more time with each other, and with not renting, So we were going to outdoor movies, and we were going to in Chinatown Summer Nights. We were trying to link them to community events already happening, and just do a great ride together. But yeah, it really turned out to be just more of us.
That happened to us too.
Yeah.
Any other questions we have for each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I have tons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the things that I guess that we've been involved in, and I don't know if it could become a program of sorts, it would be nice, but we've actually been really engaging people to come out and support like bike safety and more like bike lanes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with all the hoopla that's going on with the bike lanes over on North Fig, but I mean, it's something that directly affects us because we're on Figueroa.
You should talk about it. Tell me more.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, basically, it's kind of a big issue, hot issue right now. They're trying to implement bike lanes on North Figueroa, but they're getting a lot of pushback from the community or certain members of the community because they would have
community?
Northeast LA. Yes, so we're located in Northeast LA, in Highland Park specifically is where the proposed bike lanes are, and basically what it's meant to be is to be connecting like an entire network. So there's bike lanes all over Los Angeles, and they're trying to connect the river path and that, I believe it's that lane, over so that you can eventually get into Pasadena. So it's kind of like a big area, a big connector. And so, I mean, they've got the money for it at this point. They've got like a lot of community support, but they've also got a lot of people who are just not having it because they would have to remove a lane of traffic. And so Figueroa, if you are familiar with it, basically runs along the same length as a part of the 110. And so people use it very frequently to get onto the 110 or just take it all the way down to eventually get onto the 5 and such. And so, I mean, we do see a fair amount of traffic there, and people are just, up in arms about it. They're just like, no, and these meetings are just, it's definitely...
You can hear it all on BikeTalk, actually. We got 2 of the meetings up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so the last meeting wasn't as eventful, which some people were not upset about that. It was kind of a different way that they set it up. And so it's a big thing. It's a big thing. We've Joseph Braioli, who is the founder of the Bikerwave and who owns a Flying Pigeon.
No,
that
he's not.
He's not?
No.
He's not the founder?
Of the Bikerwave?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not the Bikerwave.
Oh.
The Bike Oven. That's what I meant.
I knew that.
Yeah, I was like, wait. He actually, he started this sort of coalition group with, a bunch of other members of the community called Figueroa for All, so it's Fig for All. And so we have like a board on Facebook that we like communicate on, and, we have our hashtags and all that type of stuff. And so really we're trying to kind of do like an organized, movement towards support on these bike lanes. And so we're trying everything we can. But it's been nice that through the Bike Oven, I've been able to engage, or we've been able to engage a lot of people, especially youth, which is really kind of cool because, I mean, I didn't really know much about like advocacy or like, rights or any of that type of stuff growing up. Like I just didn't. Now I work at another nonprofit organization where I've kind of been exposed to that and, just kind of really speaking up about what it is that you want in your community and speaking to like council members and lawmakers and all that type of stuff. And so it's been really cool to be able to like reach out and have the support of like the community and the support of people who don't necessarily like take part in those types of meetings, like neighborhood council meetings or like whatever. So I mean, I think it would be nice to turn it into something. We've been working with LACBC as like bike ambassadors and kind of doing that. But it's brought up a lot of questions of, I mean, education for cyclists, bike safety, and really getting like the basic information out there to people so that this community can grow, you know, because a lot of people just feel very unsafe when they're riding around. And that's kind of what this whole bike lanes thing is about. It's about, you know, increasing ridership and increasing, you know, health and encouraging people to, like, you know, think outside the box and say, hey, you know, I can ride down the street to go get groceries or go, you know, whatever. So, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are, like, involved in any, I don't know if there's bike lanes. I think there's bike lanes outside of Bike Kitchen I've driven on Fountain or Sharrow, right?
Yeah, Sharrow's on Fountain, bike lanes
Right.
on Sunset.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys have any experience with any of this, or if I'd just like to get like some feedback on like what you think would be like cool, or like if it sounds like a crazy idea, but just getting people more involved in like that part of thing, because I think it's really empowering to be able to say like, this is what I like stand for, and like I support this cause, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's really important. So I don't know. You guys can chime in, or else I'll keep talking.
I'm also involved with LACBC, and I think actually I recognize you. Did you go to the meeting last week?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was like, okay. So I was at that meeting also in regards to speaking to the transportation committee in regards specifically being that I'm from the Valley Bikery, we were trying to get bike lanes on Linkersham.
Okay.
So, and Paul Kokorian, our city council person, he was there. And through the Los Angeles Bicycle Coalition, County Bicycle Coalition, they are the Valley representatives, Valley ambassadors. We were able to get 4 of us to come down and speak at that particular meeting. And we're very active as far as trying to really get like bike lanes. Unfortunately, the city council person has the ability to make the decision, but has referred back to the neighborhood council, and the neighborhood council is not 100% for bike lanes on Linkersham. So we're trying to encourage each other. Like, none of us are in that area, so we wouldn't be able to join that specific neighborhood council, but we're active. I'm active in our neighborhood council for where the bikery is located, the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council, which I just started going to the meetings, and we're very fortunate because through a partnership they were able to make a donation to the Valley Bikery. So I encourage people to really work with your neighborhood council, because from what I understand, there are funds out there that they can give to nonprofits, and one of their Valley Council people started coming to Yo Cycle, and he started coming to Yo Cycle, and pretty soon he's like, "Hey, you guys should come to the meeting. I think we can give you some money." And so
we came to the meeting.
Yeah,
and as long as you fit their criteria, being able to display that you give back to the community, which the bike cooperatives and everything you guys been saying you do, it aligns with their interests and what they'll be able to fund. So definitely a good resource to use.
I mean, I think you have a good opportunity to both grow Bike Oven and also grow your community at large, because the neighbors and the neighborhood, I mean, like you mentioned, like healthy communities, healthy cities, like there really are, like that's really the larger goal for all of us. You know, we want LA to be a better city, but you know, I mean, if you started becoming sort of another central headquarter, you know, I know Joseph is, you can walk in there and ask him and he'll know all the updates, but you know, you might be able to be that too and be a meeting place, and then like Jennifer mentioned, you know, really cozying up to the local leadership in the neighborhood, you know, and making sure that you're, you know, known, and then always reaching out to emailing your own client base and getting them involved, asking them to come, you know, start to create like that unified feeling, and then people synonymously connect you, you know, to a better, you know, Neela is a better, you know, Bike Oven is a better everybody. So
right, we were because I mean, like I said, we've been like throwing around all kinds of ideas. Actually, for the meeting that we had last Thursday, I actually for some reason I was like, I'm going to make a spoke card. So I like made a spoke card, and people were actually pretty like psyched to like get the spoke card. And I mean, it kind of, you know, it was green, and it like went, you know, kind of went with the theme and whatever. And so, I mean, we're really trying to kind of do outreach like outside of the box through our networks with the Bike Oven, and obviously Joseph like has a lot of, and I'm wearing a mesh shirt.
Bullshit, I don't know.
But we were also toying around with the idea of like maybe having like a small scale like resource fair that's like all about bikes, like just about bikes. And it could be like, because one of the things is that I've noticed personally just walking around Northeast LA and Highland Park in general is that a lot of people just don't understand the bike culture, or have a misconception about the people that ride bikes, and they don't feel like they can be part of that community. And so, and that's for lots of different reasons, for safety reasons or for whatever, you know. So we were playing around with the idea of possibly like finding a space, having like a resource fair, and, you know, really supplying information to like different types of demographics, like having a workshop that's like, hey, this is how bikes increase business, or how you can like get cyclists to come into your business. Because I think LA Dot has a specific girl, I forget her name right now, but she's in charge of doing like the bike business type of thing, you know, bike friendly businesses. So we were like, we can invite her. Maybe she can come and like give some tips, give some information, whatever. Because the cycling community in Northeast LA is growing, and it is. It's one of the mayor's Great Streets project, and it's also on LA Dot's bike-friendly communities list that they want to implement. They want to put like pumps out there and all sorts of stuff. So like doing that for people who, you know, are business owners, doing bike safety classes for people who don't normally ride on the streets. And then, you know, and then making it fun too. Like maybe we'll try to recruit some people that have really cool bikes and have like instead of a car show, have like a bike show. You know what I mean? And so we just felt like having like small flyers, you know, would give us the opportunity to walk in our community, go into businesses, go to houses and be like, hey, we're having an event. Come, bring your kids, you know, it's going to be really fun, and really kind of disperse all our information. We thought about maybe inviting other collectives to like come and like, you know, have like a table, because a lot of people also don't know what we are or what we do. And we're right in plain view, like we're, you know, so we get a lot of people that come in there, but still, I mean, I feel like that's the biggest thing right now, and the biggest issue that we're having with the whole bike lanes thing is that people don't necessarily understand, and so I think they're like scared, and then they're just like, no, my car, and they get like all like, you know, they get like really like riled up about it. But I think if you can show them that it's a community they can be included in, that it's healthy, that it's, you know, a good way to like meet friends, and you leave at your bubble of your car and you know, meet people from all walks of life, I think they'd be into it.
It's kind of funny that you will hear clients come in, and almost before they've told you the issue with their bike, they're like apologizing for their bike. Well, I just have this silly little mountain bike. It's like, no, do you have a bike? Great, it's perfect. That's all you need to worry about. And yeah, you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to carry a messenger bag. You don't have to like wear Lycra. You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
Or be a certain age.
Right.
In our community, I think a big barrier too is language. Like we really, with everything that we've had, we're like, we need to make sure that we're providing this in Spanish too. Like if we provide workshops at this, you know, fantasy resource fair that we want to do, like, you know, make sure that there's someone there translating everything, because that's also a big demographic that, you know, and I run into people like that all the time. They're just like, look at those people, like, they're not me, you know, because it's a language thing, it's a culture thing, it's all sorts of things. So,
does anybody have just a Spanish-speaking night only?
Oh, no.
Because we've been thinking about doing that for a long time. You are.
No, but we just are, because all of our, everyone that volunteers now is bilingual. And most of the people we get in, probably like at least 50% walk in speaking Spanish to us. So we're pretty much a very bilingual shop.
Yeah, for
sure.
I think, you know, I think we might be missing out. The bicycle kitchen, we have so much potential, but I still think we don't we might not feel friendly and inviting enough to, our Spanish-speaking community. And I think we're really missing out. So we've been talking about maybe having one. It's just, who's going to step up and take a little bit of leadership and, and I wasn't sure if anybody else really had attempted that.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I think this is a great idea. And sharing again from the Valley Bikery, we have our signs in English and Spanish, yet I think you're right now you're mentioning we don't accommodate a night or a space where it's Spanish speaking. And I think the things that got me involved in the bike community and I think have been very effective for outreach, and we were saying bringing different demographics, have been the group rides, and those aren't accommodated either in Spanish. Now I think about it, and you're saying like people do look at you on the street like, look, it's a group or a swarm of cyclists, or when you're riding, and it's awesome like getting to know these safe bike lanes, and it would be great to outreach to other demographics that do bike and let them know and participate in a fun, healthy, social event in their community. So it's a great point, and
good idea.
Think about it. Yes.
Do you have anything more in that notebook over there, Danny?
Yeah, scribbling furiously.
I have a lot of questions, but I can't think of any.
I actually have a question, because talking about outreaching to other demographics or communities that people in our community that we might not be getting in, I've come across when I do promote an event or a function of the Valley Bikery, that a lot of people sound very interested and are like, oh, I haven't biked since I was a kid, or or something of that nature. They said, oh, I wish I could come, but I don't have a bike. So it's like, okay, well, you're interested in building a bike, and sometimes that's not a realistic, quick solution if the event's in 2 weeks, right? And so I was wondering if you guys are familiar with renting bikes, or if that is a function of anyone's bike collective or for events. So,
like renting them out?
Renting them out for
like
people to be able to participate in a group ride.
Well, for at least at, at Biker Wave, we often don't have very many bikes, especially in the summer. We get them back out in the community. We use them to train volunteers and then put them up for as little money as possible, and they just tend to go. So we don't usually have ones very often that are like ready, or that we would give to somebody to ride and feel like we could honestly, be okay with their safety. So usually it's either, gone or in pieces.
That's
so
the same with us.
Yeah.
So
Same
if you're
at the bike kitchen too.
Yeah, but if you're providing those to the community, if that's part of the mission, it's definitely hard to keep a corral of like usable bikes. That would be really tough, especially because you want to be concerned with like nothing breaking as somebody was riding it.
You're a bike co-op and your bikes don't work.
Or what our insurance company would say about doing that.
That's true. We've toyed around with that idea, but it's always kind of been like, well, how do we do it? Because I don't know if you've been to the bike event, but we have a lot of bikes, not all of them in working order, so that's obviously one of the things. But we've definitely thought about it, because we have so many bikes. Like, hey, we need to fix some of these up and start, like loaning them out to people. On occasion, we do we have Spoken Art that we co-host every month. So on occasion, people that are on walking by are like, what are you guys doing? And so we'll like loan them like a bike or something that's like a legitimate bicycle.
You should talk about Spoken Art.
Spoken Art. Well, Spoken Art is a monthly ride. We do it every second Friday of the month. Saturday. Thank you. Wow, where's my brain tonight? But it coincides with the Highland Park or Neela Art Walk. So basically, and what's cool about it is that the studios and all of the art galleries aren't just on like one main strip. They're kind of spread out in the community. So Joseph plans the route and then just kind of leads the ride to different galleries. He's got a pretty good relationship with some of the galleries already, so they know to expect a lot of hungry cyclists, which is nice. And I think he kicks them back like some cash or something, probably, because we eat all his food or all their food. But yeah, so it's really nice. It's one of those rides that kind of brings out, lots of different types of people because, it's art and bikes. So we do that, religiously every single month pretty much. And we have pretty good success with it. We usually have like bands or something after, or and it's a nice way to kind of promote local business for us too, because like people will, I think not this month but last month we stopped at this churro cart, which is like a food cart or a food truck, but all you do is sell like churros and like sweets and like really, really delicious, terrible things for you. But like we stopped there, that's where he took us. That was one of the stops, and everyone sat there and ate churros together, and it was really, really cool. And I'm sure that the guy who owns it like appreciated it, like this big influx of people. But yeah, it's super fun. And it's one of those like rides that's attached to an event. But at this point, it's like, I think because we do it and we're consistent like every single month, it's like people just know. Like spoken arts.
It's its own institution now.
It really is, yeah. And like we have people who like make spoke cards for it and like do this and do that, and it's pretty like, people just know.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the ride that my so far only involvement with Fig for All has been like attached to that ride. But when we went, I don't know how many months ago, and then there was the art show at the councilman's office, I think, and we all walked in wearing Fig for All banners.
Yes.
And kind of just trounced around, but then also like talked to the aides that were there.
Right.
But yeah, I think that was helpful. For me, wanting to be involved in a small way, like being able to go to the ride and be involved in it in a tiny way. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So I had a question about volunteer retention for you guys. Volunteer retention and possibly like incentives, simply because this is Danny from Bike Oven, by the way. So we've recently got our we don't have our 401c3, so we didn't do that. We did a not-for-profit, which is I think what Biker Wave has. We actually had one of your gentlemen advised us on a lot of it. So shout out to John Brown, who helped us with a bunch of stuff.
That would make sense.
Yes. So, and he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. Yeah, I was just going to say he's a lawyer. So.
He advised us on many of the issues, kind of did like a really cool, very thorough, like step-by-step, like first you're going to do this and that and whatever. But yeah, so, with that, I think we're really just trying to create, like, a lot of order, because the Bike Oven's always kind of, like, it's been functioning, but there's no specific system for a lot of different things. I think that's part of the reason why sometimes we have trouble retaining volunteers is because things seem really confusing, and new people are just like, I don't know what's going on, and then they leave. So I guess just tips or best practices on retention and incentives. Like, what do volunteers ask for?
I think it's a really tough issue regardless, because we actually have sort of a good protocol for, I would say, onboarding new volunteers, as good as such an organization can get, I think. And we have really good incentives in a sense, and volunteer retention is still a pretty big issue at the Bike Wave. It's tough to dedicate a consistent time when you're really busy. So it's something I'd like to hear from all of you about, because I think it's going to be, or is, a pretty universal problem. So yeah.
For us at the Bicycle Kitchen, I think it really starts with someone's first introduction. For us, we have always maintained a, give as little or give as much, but definitely come, we want to see you again. So it's welcoming from the start, but we actually create we're very focused on creating a very good, safe space, comfortable space. We, hands down, always abide by policies that create a comfortable space for everyone working, and I think that immediately, hopefully, puts people at ease, that there are lines that will not get crossed, that there is, you will not get hopefully, of course, not get treated in any negative manner. That there's a overall an overarching atmosphere of acceptance, and that we really want you there. And I think that's where it starts. And then, all of the cooks, which are all of our main volunteers, all of our key holders, we've just ingrained in ourselves, generation after generation of volunteers, that, as soon as you notice someone shadowing, which is a new volunteer, to ask their name, to try to remember that first moment, to ask their name, to make that contact. And, everybody's a little different. Sometimes they make personal contact, like, hey, do you want to swap emails? I'll tell you when something else is going on. Or are we going to, that before they leave, like, are we going to see you next week? It'd be really great to see you. It starts with making those personal connections, I think, on each shift. And we continue to recommit to those ideals every meeting, every quarter, every so often, to remind ourselves that we really want to continue that kind of practice. And then we usually follow certain protocols before someone is voted in as a key holder. So we have an orientation. We run it every other month that goes over the operations, I should say, of every shift, because it is about getting comfortable in the space. You can keep coming, but if you look around and you're like, I still don't know where to fit in, and I still don't know where to jump in, and I still don't have any comfort, and I know I can't work the computer, and I know that I can't ask for money. Some people are just like, well, then what am I really doing? I'll just come back and be a client. So, when you start to learn about those things and talk out your process as you're doing them and make people comfortable to continue coming back and feel like you want them to be there, I think it just naturally continues a progression. So for us, that's been really great. But then, the retention aspect of it, it ebbs and flows. People get jobs or move or get married or, have different life changes. And sometimes, like currently at the kitchen, we are low. We need more volunteers. There have been other times where we're, fully staffed, more than fully staffed. So it changes. You have to be very careful of burnout. I think you have to see it in each other. You have to talk to each other about it. You have to say, you don't have to take this on. You don't have to step up, or in meetings, when we're talking about new programs or things that need to get done, around the house, quote unquote. It's, if you see the same person, volunteering, sometimes they may take it on and feel a little resentment about that, and then you're worried about burnout. It's like, okay, maybe we can do it together. Maybe we can form a little grupo, a little committee. Are there other people that can join in? So there's ways in which you can kind of continue the lifespan of your volunteers and keep everything really healthy. But I'm curious what other people do as well.
We need a lot of volunteers right now, so I can't really say anything about retaining volunteers. People have come for short times and long times, but I think we have trouble in our neighborhood because most of our people in our neighborhood are just trying to get by, and it's hard to find time to volunteer when you have a family and you're just trying to get by. And my view on it is kind of that I feel like a lot of the people that have jobs and are doing okay and have that extra time to give back in some ways are Bike Kitchen and Microwave sort of people that can volunteer there. That's kind of what happens. And then a lot of lower income areas where Bike Oven is or where Bisa Libre is, it's harder to find people that are like, oh yeah, I got a lot of extra spare time, sure, I'll come by. It's more people are like, no, I'm just trying to hustle, make my own thing happen. And so it's difficult to find those people that, because I feel like you need somebody that lives really close. Sometimes people can come from far away, but it's harder to retain those volunteers because they're like, okay, make that trek every week. So most of our volunteers that are really long term are people that live pretty close or have lived close in the past, and maybe they moved away and now they'll still come by because they're really good friends with us. But I think it's a lot about reaching out to people that live nearby and then hooking them in with, being friends, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just becoming friends with them. And then also kind of right away, picking something that they can work on and that you're going to specifically show them how to do, so they leave that one day feeling accomplished, I learned how to adjust a brake today. Because something, or pick something that as a cook that as a mechanic, this is really simple, but to a person that's never been a mechanic before, it seems whoa, I learned something huge. I think that's important to do right away.
It's really interesting because even though there are a lot of volunteers, say at Bikewave, there's sort of the head mechanics and sort of tent pole volunteers who, if two of them can't make it in a shift, we usually can't keep that shift running for that evening. Like this past Sunday, we were closed because two of the basically 3 to 4 volunteers that were head mechanics couldn't be in, and we tried to use an email to all the volunteers to see if anybody could make it, but on such short notice that's tough, so sometimes you can't do it. And it's a mix of that sort of people who are super consistent and then people who can sometimes come in. So we put out a call to action on the email list when we know we're going to be low. Saturdays are a big one that are tough to cover because it's really hard to ask somebody, hey, come in for the middle of your Saturday every Saturday. Yeah. So, yeah, right now it's on a rotating sort of basis who comes in. And so I don't think there are really any easy answers either for that, especially when you have burnout part of it.
This is Danny again. Does anyone have any committees that just focus on volunteer outreach? And if so, what type of outreach do you guys do? Do you go door to door? Do you guys go to on I don't know. I'm just trying to get ideas of how, and then also I guess maybe different demographics. One of our volunteers that's really gung-ho and excited about everything is actually older. He's retired at this point, and so he's got time. He's got to be home by a certain time because his wife likes him to cook and stuff. But for the most part, he's there and he's pretty consistent. And so that idea, like reaching out to a different demographic that maybe we wouldn't think of, I mean, there's lots of Lycra people that are older, gray-haired fox men that I'm sure, and women that could come out.
Be active too.
Yeah. And so, people that are, wanting to give back at this point. I mean, I don't know what you guys do. Ideas?
This is Sharon from the Valley Bikery, and I think it's good at research. Think what type of demographics would have more availability. I think if I think about the volunteers that could actually stay, would be maybe students or have more leniency, flexibility in their schedule. And just to share how we operate, it's very much on a small scale. We have about 6 core volunteer bakers in the Valley Bikery, and those core volunteers have been there from the get-go, not necessarily geographically close, but because I think their commitment, long-term commitment, has kept them comfortable. They know, and they want to ensure that the Valley Bikery continues. And it is hard, and I feel you guys hearing the struggle with keeping consistency and retention. And I think we don't have, like Danny, what you mentioned, we don't have a set committee, or we're not actively looking or promoting and recruiting other volunteers. It's kind of more subtle. It's more if people ask and are interested, because we feel like it needs to come out of interest, and those are the people who would commit more because they really have the intentions to give back to the bike community, because they think this is awesome. I would love to participate too. And when they, like I mentioned before, if someone gives ideas what they'd like to for that bike collective, how to look or what function they want to see there, be like, great, would you like to partake? And be like, if you're interested in volunteering, then we'll set them up with someone else on our shift, that a core volunteer, and have them job shadow and just be there for a few weeks until they feel comfortable on their own. Since we're not open that often, we are very limited to the nights that we can be open because there's not that many volunteers, as well as there's problems, like when you don't have that many volunteers, and some things happen in their life, then you like you were saying, there's last minute cancellation, you have to put something on Facebook. But I think just seeking those who are coming on the group rides and clients that are coming in drop-ins to see if they really are interested in empowering them to be leaders in the bikery or in your bike collective.
One thing that I've done that has helped a little bit, but maybe you would have other ideas, is on our website we have information about becoming a volunteer, and what it is I set up 3 emails that go out. It's like, I want some information about becoming a volunteer, and the first one is, hey, we accept people. You have to come in, because you do have to come in and talk to a head mechanic, and they give you the rundown. And the first one is, hey, here's some information, we want you to come in. The second one is, there's some benefits for volunteering, and these are the benefits. And the third one is, hey, remember you said you were interested in volunteering? Well, come on in and talk to us about it. And that's spread out over about 2 weeks. So you would get that initial email first, and then a week later, the one about the benefits, and the week after that, the one saying, come in, because we want to be active in finding people, but that one is easy to say, hey, just come in and talk with us, because regardless, you do have to, come to the space. So it has helped a little bit, but I feel maybe it could be better. Maybe, I don't even know, worded, but it also sort of works when I'm not there and nobody's there. So when people go to the site, it's, here's our hours, here's where we're at, here's what we do, here's what it costs, here's the sliding scale, and then that's the next one. Hey, get involved, come check it out, come look. But overall, it still kind of has to be, you still have to talk to them. So it's like the ways to get to talk to more people and get them to keep on coming.
Yeah. This is Siobhan from the Bicycle Kitchen. We do have a volunteer. We call them groupos. We do most of our work in groupos. They're just like committees. And for the grupo, what we try to focus on, again, is kind of remembering to recommit ourselves as current volunteers to the practices that encourage more shadows, more volunteers. So, for instance, at internal meetings, we have cooks meetings, quarterly meetings, or retreats. We try to do a go-around where each person recalls why they started volunteering. And you'll find that almost 60, 70, almost 80% of those stories are someone. They're about someone. So it's about the relationships that you make that encourages people to continue coming. It's about the face-to-face connection. So it gets really tough when, there's maybe only 2 of you running a really busy Thursday night shift. You have some volunteers, or someone new has come in and said, hey, I'm new here. I'd really like to maybe hang out, volunteer, shadow. And I get it. It's hard to stop and remember that person and include them in what you're doing, or stop and talk about the kitchen. You just really you just kind of want to get that shift done. Like, you're just going from client to client and really bouncing around. So we do, try to remember in our conversations with each other as cooks and at our meetings, try to, again, recommit to those practices that encourage people to come back. Something else we do is once a month we have something that we call Vibing Night. And Vibing Night, there's an email that's sent out. So we encourage new shadows. We try to get their name and email right away. They can sign up, just like you were mentioning, Lucas. They can sign up to join the email listserv as volunteers. And Vibing Night is it's a Friday night, and it's closed to clients. It's only open for volunteers. So it's a chance for you to work on your own bike, and we usually get, pizza, snacks. Sometimes we've got beverages and we've got beers and stuff too. And, we all play our music, and, it's a chance for us to really connect to each other while we're in the space. And so what we started doing was sometimes that can still feel very, or you're afraid as an outside new volunteer that seems really cliquey. Like you don't want to just show up with a bunch of people that already know each other. So what we started doing was doing vibing nights every other month that included Skillshare, where we encouraged new shadows to come in, and we'll kind of pair up with a current cook and, tackle something that maybe you've wanted to personally work on. Maybe there was something you saw on a shift about disc brakes and you wanted to ask someone, maybe another cook there can help you with it. We take the donated bikes that we have in the front yard, and we either strip it or work on a part of that bike that you are interested in learning about. And the cooks all know that shadows will be coming to do this, Skillshare, and so we're prepared to not just be, intermixing with each other and working on our own bikes, but we're also there as resources for the new shadows. So I think it's a good way of kind of balancing the needs of everybody and encouraging more people to come. So I don't know if that's a great suggestion. For us, it's turned out a couple new cooks over the past 6 months. So I think for us, it's been successful.
Cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like snacks.
We eat a lot of pizza at BC Libre.
Yeah.
Lots of Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a question? This is Nick from BikeTalk. There's a lot of, I was just thinking about the CBC show every second Saturday, and how they have a different regional partner every month. And that got me thinking how in each of your areas there might be a different kind of political, either a branch of the LACBC or partner, or some other, you were talking about city councils. If you could somehow, sort of combine your talents, the people who do politics with the people who do actual physical wrenching.
So you're asking how to combine the local politicians and then
the
As
brains with the
volunteers?
brawn.
Ask them to come on a ride.
We're associated with LACBC, and now we're not, but it's all good. But we volunteer. We volunteered with them when we were associated with them, like directly in terms of having them as our umbrella, and then now we still volunteer for them, here and there, even when we're not. And so, like for example, we're volunteering at the River Ride for the children's section. We're going to be fixing kids' bikes or something, I think so. I think it's important to be associated with the advocacy people as much as you can. And I think everyone here at some point has had a connection with LACBC in some way or another. And it's always a discussion within the bike community of how you can strengthen those ties and how they intersect or don't intersect and things like that. So.
Yeah, certainly tabling, Metro's Bike Night or LACBC's River Ride, and tabling is a great way to make the connections to sort of bridge those gaps and really make the community just one step smaller. And I think people that would support LACBC or who are finding out about Bike Week and Bike Month through Bike Metro, and those are people that would also be interested in us. So those are really great opportunities. Yeah.
I figured that right now I'll do a time check if anybody wanted to take a break or keep going or whatever. You want to keep going right now?
No, that means wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. But it's been an hour and 20 minutes, so I thought that was pretty excellent. That's good.
Do you guys want to maybe give room for announcements or upcoming things that each co-op has going on, and maybe ideas to join forces or
Yeah, let's do
Let's
another.
try that.
Supporting each other's events. Or
You want to go?
This is Ariel from BC Libre, and I'm in the planning stages of a ride called the Cumbia Ride.
Nice.
And it's going to have, it's still planning it, so all I know right now is that I'm hoping to have it on August 2nd, the first Saturday in August. And there are some awesome concerts going on this summer, as everyone knows. The grand performances, the Grand Park stuff, the Levitt Pavilion at MacArthur Park. It has some awesome concerts, and I know we did a ride last year to one of those concerts with the Metro rides, same that I think that the Bikery did with them too, a ride with Metro and Cycle. And so BC Libre is going to host a ride called the Cumbia Ride, and we'll be riding to a Cumbia concert on August 2nd, and maybe from BC Libre, maybe from somewhere else. We're still planning that. But check our Facebook page. You can just search BC Libre, BICILIBRE. It's like free bike in Spanish, on Facebook, and find us there and watch for that event to pop up, or come and talk to us in the actual space. That's even better. We're located at 1205 West 6th Street, 6 as in the number 6, 90017, just west of downtown, on 6th and Lucas, across the street from the Good Samaritan Hospital.
Cool. This is Siobhan from the Bicycle Kitchen. We just mentioned earlier that the Bicycle Bitchin' summer series just started. It's every other Monday. The next one will be June 30th, Monday night, 6:30 to 9:30. It's going to be a biking starter class. Bring the bike out of the garage, out of the closet. Let's get it cleaned up and go over all the basics to enjoy a summer out. We are also partnering right now with a organization called St. John's Well Child and Family Center.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, we're working on trying to fix up as many kids' bikes as possible. We're aiming for 15. Right now we've got about 8 or 9. So we're looking for more donations, or if the other co-ops here have any, I'm happy to come and pick
We
some
might
up.
have one,
Okay.
especially little tiny girls' bikes. Those get donated to us a lot, and
Yeah.
not many people are looking to get them.
Yeah.
We
So we're
might have some as well.
okay, perfect. Anything from up to the ages of around 10 or 11, so it can really be a wide range, yeah. So that's what's going on. Yep, Bicycle Bitchin' has its own Facebook page. The kitchen is at 4429 Fountain. It's right where Fountain and Sunset Boulevard meet. Not to be confused with the other kitchen, which is a really tasty restaurant, but we're right there. Hit up both, really. And we've also got Twitter and Facebook group and Facebook fan page as well.
All right, this is Lucas from the Biker Wave, and we don't have any specific events coming up that I'm aware of. So you can always go to our website, which is bikerwave.org. I guess I'll spell that, BIKEROWAVE.org. And anything that's posted on the website goes directly to both Twitter and Facebook. So if you go to any of those, you can find out what's coming up. We might actually have more children's bikes.
Okay.
And we get them a lot and they don't go anywhere. So
Okay, great.
yeah.
This is Jennifer from the Valley Bikery, and so we have an event coming up really soon, Sunday, June 29th. It's a chocolate bike ride, and we have flyers. So it's going to be, we meet at the Bikery at 10 a.m., and we're going to ride at 10:30. The Valley Bikery is located at 11416 Victory Boulevard, Suite 104, and that's in Van Nuys, on the corner of Victory and Van Nuys Boulevard. And so we will be on our social media revealing one stop every Friday. So far we have revealed Yum Yum Yogurt, and that's on Ventura Boulevard. So we'll be going there, and they're really cool as far as a proceed of the sales that we do that day will a percentage will come back to the Valley Bikery. And so we're suggesting that everybody bring like maybe $7 or $10 so that it stops, that they can either buy things, or we're going to have also, because it is a fundraiser for the Valley Bikery, we're also going to have some sweet desserts for sale. And I don't know, Sharon, what else? What am I missing? What do I need to?
So some of the shops will be working with us to give us a percentage, like you said, and some will give us samples. So you'll get some free samples on the ride, and there's going to be a variety of desserts, which is great. It's not just chocolate. You're going to have culinary cultural fusion from baklava, yum yogurt, to chocolates and baked goods. So it's going to be the sweetest ride in the valley. You guys should check it out.
Sweetest ride in the valley.
We'll be indulging guilt-free on the ride.
And then we're hoping in the future to put together, like in the fall, a pizza ride.
Oh.
Wow. I'm getting so hungry. So this is Danny from Bike Oven again. We have a meeting tomorrow, so I should have more information as far as events that are like solid things. We still haven't like regrouped for summer stuff yet, but I mean, definitely look out for classes. Like I said, we had a lot of success with the basics class, so I think that's something we'll probably run again because people just really, really liked it. Definitely spoken art. Like I said, every second Saturday we meet at the Flying Pigeon, which is just down the street from us. We're actually located at 3706 North Figueroa Street, and that's zip code 90065 in case you're putting it into your Maps app or whatever. And so Flying Pigeon is actually just a few blocks down from us. So, I mean, if you decide to come, usually we meet up about 6 o'clock on Saturday night. We can meet, or you can come to the Bike Oven, and usually we head over in a group, or if you want to meet at the Flying Pigeon, sometimes they have, there's actually like a tunnel, an art tunnel. It's like one of those tunnels that serves the school that like goes underneath ground to the other side of the street. So the owner of the coffee shop there, Antigua Coffee, actually got the city to let him turn that into an art gallery. So it's a rotating monthly art gallery where, you know, they just painted the walls white, and so people hang up installations and stuff, so it's pretty cool. So usually there's that going on, so you can check that out, have some coffee, and then we go out and check out the art, all in Highland Park, which is really fun. So that's every second Saturday, spoken art. You can find that on our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/Bike Oven, BIKEOVN. And yeah, like I said, we've been throwing around the idea of doing some sort of resource fair or something fun like that. So look for that in the future.
Oh, and look for BC Libre's mechanics classes as well. Possibly basic, possibly advanced. We'll see.
We'll see.
So if you guys want to do this every third Saturday, I think that would be great. And if you want to just have, you know, maybe it could be everybody every time, or whoever can make it, or it could be like focus on one and all your friends. You know, it could be an internal episode of a given co-op, or anything is what I'm saying.
Anything bike.
Yeah.
Bike-ish.
And does the show have to be 2 hours?
Not at all, no.
What is the length desired?
It's totally